let the beat build for a little minute. Listen, thank y'all for tuning in. Give me 1 second. We can get right to it,
Hey,
yo.
Monte, what you say?
You be like when y'all weigh in. So yeah, y'all, what's up, y'all? Everybody, what's going on with y'all, y'all? Vasa, peace to you, bro, my brother. Oh, Goon was happening, man. Man, listen, bro, we got some stuff to talk about, man. As y'all see on the porch, man. So yeah, if y'all want to hit that link, you can do a clubhouse style or whatever. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. First and foremost, before I get too far into it, and Debbie, appreciate you. Shout out to you. Queen Quest, shout out to you. Victoria Small, everybody in the culture that put it in. Pat Gunn, Imani was happening, you know. But man, it's too many today. Emery Campbell was happening, bro. Much respect to you. Ron and Natalie, yo, appreciate y'all for all the work y'all do. You know, everybody that holding it down for the culture. Karis Connect, everybody, yo. For real. I don't mean to leave nobody out. But yeah, yo, it was brought to my attention. Well, if y'all don't know, I made this YouTube page to correct misinformation. Point blank, period. My very first video about 3 years ago, I'm beating up that Black Irish talking point. Shout out to you, Ogun. What's happening? But yeah. So I mainly do this for the ancestors and for the youth, for the babies, yo. You feel me? So it was brought to my attention. And I've been doing this information stuff and beating up these abos and these pseudos for a couple of years now. So they playbook and the stuff they say they talking points ain't really too new to me. Been they done that. I can argue their argument better than them. You feel me? Because I already know what they gonna say. So with that being said, it was brought to my attention that somebody wants to talk about the Ogeechee River, even though they ain't from the corridor. But yeah, they want to talk about the Ogeechee River, the Guale people, Guale Pronounced Wale with a Y though. But yeah. So what they try to say is that these people, these First Nations people, indigenous people, are the real Black Americans, and the people that live along the quote unquote Gullah Geechee corridor, and even people in Mississippi claiming it's jive, yo. And I'm like, what? But yeah. So they say that these people is Indian, this, that, and the third. So we gonna get into it, yo. And I got some more stuff to talk about too. Like it's yeah, I mean we can go over some books. I got a video if y'all wanna watch that. I got some sources to show y'all if y'all want to, you know. I got some old books, you feel me? So yeah, we chilling, man. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit the like on y'all way in, yo. So with all that being said, let's get to it. Let's get to it. I'm gonna put the link up in here one more again if anybody want to pop up. You already know, like I said, it's porch, yo, clubhouse style. Just we can show sources, you feel me? So yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, let's get to it, fellas and ladies. All right, so we gonna start from the tippy top, yo. Hold on, did I just see my brother coming in? Oh, I'm tripping. My phone doesn't be sharing the screen. All right, cool, bet. So yeah, as y'all see, the Wale people, right? That's what they talking about. Say that they the real Gullah Geechee people and this, that, and the third, right? I even heard that the Gullah Geechee language is Muskogee, right? So as we see, um, related ethnic groups, Mississippian culture, so on and so forth, right? You see this right here? Extinct. These people are extinct. And as you see, I already clicked on this right here. These people are extinct as well too. Sad to say, you know. Um, yeah, man, it's the brief little wiki page, man. We see the first contact, we see the prehistory, right? And we see this a Wale Indian, Greece early settler. This is y'all, but this is them. Is that them? All right. So that's who they claiming is the real Gullah Geechee people. That's who they claiming the real Black American. How? Beat me. Beats me. Beats me. We gonna get into all of this right here. We don't even gotta use the wiki for it. I just it's levels, step by step. So y'all see this one right here, right? Access to genealogy.com. This is for Native Americans or American Indians. And yeah, giving a little brief background on the Wale and the Yamasee tribe, right? Now I wanted to keep this one just for this particular point right here, right? These people right here, the Timucua and the Timucua Indians, right? I don't want that one yet. We're gonna do it right here. Boom. The Timucuan Society, right? Men. Daily task of a Timucuan man consists of hunting large animals like deer, making weapons for hunting and fighting conflicts between different groups of Timucua were commonly and mostly fought over status and to capture new wives and slaves. Timucua men played several recreational games, notably archery, running, and a type of ball game with similarities to lacrosse and soccer. The game was played during the summer in honor of the gods of the sun, rain, and thunder, so that the harvest would be blessed. And y'all see a picture of the Timucua men. These are the people, I don't even want to say do name, but these aboriginals, these internet Indians, indigenous to the keyboard, like big homie Rob Boren calls them. Shout out to each one, teach one, MBK. Um, yeah, that's them people that they're claiming are the real Black Americans. So yeah, and this picture honestly should be familiar to some of y'all who follow me, but we gonna get into that. Don't worry. The women, right? Timucua women. They spend their days taking care of children, preparing meals, hunting small game, tending to the huts and making important decisions about agriculture, marriage, and disagreements. They had more daily tasks than men and worked for longer, but their work was less intensive and dangerous. Generally, the Timucua were monogamous, which means that each man only had one wife at a time. Timucua chiefs sometimes had two or three wives at a time. Their culture was matrilineal, which meant that people traced their ancestry through their mother's side. A chief's heirs were his nephews and nieces through his sister. Once they married, the couple joined the wives' clan. This is several huts in Timucua villages were dedicated to women who had just given birth, as men could not make contact with women during these times when they were confined to these huts. Women could not eat meat or seafood and had to use a different fire. Engraving entitled Ceremonies of Women Mourning for Their Deceased Husbands. These are Timucua women who are related to the Wale people, and yeah, I ain't gonna say no names, but I guess those are these ladies up here in that picture I got coming to in the book. So yeah, real quick, I got like one more, maybe two. Show y'all this map, right? This is First Nation Seekers. This is the website, right? And you see these different native First Nations tribes and peoples and whatnot. We see Alabama. We see where the tribe of Alabama's at, right? That's crazy. Chickasaw, Muskogee, right? See the Cape Fear people, Saponi, Powhatan. But what's interesting, the Lenape, what's interesting to me, they only claim certain tribes out of all of these indigenous groups, First Nations people, Catawba, so on and so forth, right? We can keep on going down. We can keep on going down. Maya, Tiana, Taino, excuse me. Right, out of all these tribes, they only claim certain ones. So yeah, make it make sense, yo. Wichita, the Moors, some of the first Avos, crazy. Look at that Kiowa. Hmm. Hmm. Where's all these at? I'm assuming some of these is Andes people. They ain't no shot nothing like that, but I think he from Cali. So one of these tribes got to be his. Andy's a real indigenous. Shout out, not a coincidence to you. Big up to you, dog. Word up. All right, so boom, check it out, right? The Story in the Bones, Neil Claude. The truth is in the bones. Along the coastlines of Georgia and northern Florida, the native Wale people laid silent for hundreds of years, and burial mounds are engraved under the church floors of old Spanish missions. But the story of the Wale did not die. It was etched on their teeth and embedded in their bones. And we're going to talk about that. We definitely going to talk about it. To tell the story, Larson measures every hard point a person could leave. Think of the shape of a bone or a tooth. A deceptively simple sign. But imagine recording that shape, its weight and length, its contours and textures, its orbits and pockmarks and scars. With a series of numbers fed into computers, this is a tedious job, but for Larson, the story is spun from data, so the data are gold. He will use every tool at his disposal to mine the data, and so will his colleagues. A band of like-minded scientists who emerged from graduate school during the early 80s and found that they could not be confined with the limits of any known scientific field. They have gone about inventing bioarchaeology, a field that can just as big as they need it to be. Larson himself has written the inaugural text. You guys see that right there. Let's go and get into the study though. Do y'all care about the methodology? Some of y'all do, some of y'all don't. But I can pin this link in the thing as well, though, in the chat. Let's see. All right, cool. There are many kinds of food corn, for instance, that leave a direct chemical signature on the skeleton, Larson says. We can look at the trace elements and isotopes of different kinds of elements and actually reconstruct what the person ate over the course of a lifetime. Yes, Larson and his colleagues can spot a corn eater by his bones. And as they reconstruct the fate of the Guale, the presence of corn is not just a clue, it's a dead giveaway. Travel back into prehistory before agriculture and long before the Spanish arrived. The Wale ordered ancestors were moving with the food supply, fishing and hunting, gathering wild plants. Health wise, they lived pretty well. They drank from the clean, clear running streams. They ate a variety of tough but nutritious foods. Their teeth were straight and strong, and their skeletons rarely showed signs of disease. And then, during the 12th century, the Wale began to plant corn. With the shift from hunting and gathering to agriculture, the bones of the Wale became less strong, probably because they did not have to work as hard as their ancestors had. As living tissues, bone molds itself in response to the forces and loads it must bear. But as their workloads decreased, the Wale retained many of their old healthful habits. They went right on eating fish and shellfish along with the corn. Larson knows this because the seafoods also leave their signatures in the chemistry of bone. With seafood providing good protein and iron, the Wale continued to thrive until the Spanish came. Few people realize, Larson says, the extent to which Spain dominated coastal Georgia and Florida from the late 16th century until about 1700. The Spanish set up missions throughout the region and exploited the native populations as a source of labor. He says that's how they maintained their economic system in Spanish Florida. They basically forced these people to raise crops, and they used native laborers to carry materials long distances. When Larson and his team looked at the skeletons from the Guale of this period, they found that the bones had grown stronger again, probably in response to the increase in labor, but stronger bones did not mean healthier bodies. Crowded together in Spanish missions throughout the region, the Guale lost their healthful way of life. The culprit was not just Spanish domination, it was agriculture too. Let's see, There we go. In regions where corn was the principal food crop, agriculture took an especially heavy toll on human health. Larson says the sugar in corn causes tooth decay, and diet based on corn is nutritiously poor, not only because corn lacks many essential nutrients, but because it also contains phytate, a chemical that inhibits the absorption of iron. Bad teeth and poor nutrition weren't the only hazards of the agricultural lifestyle. As people crowded into permanent agricultural settlements, they lived with their waste. In midden piles and shallow wells, parasites and microorganisms reproduced and spread disease, including bone infections rare among hunter-gatherers. Mm. This was the fate of the Wale before the Spanish arrived. Guale agriculture had to ease the workload, but under the Spanish, the Guale fed many more people than themselves, and agriculture was brutally hard. In the missions, the Guale stopped eating seafood, and many of them developed iron deficiency anemia. Their life expectancies were in the low 20s. Again, the Wale stopped eating seafood, and many of them developed iron deficiency anemia. Their life expectancies were in the low 20s. Some of the most distressed skeletons in Larson samples come from Amelia Island, Florida, which today is a picturesque playground of golf courses and posh resorts. For the Wale, Amelia Island was no resort, it was the site of the Santa Catalina mission, a place of suffering and deprivation. 20% of the 120 skeletons found at Santa Catalina show the ravages of extreme iron deficiency anemia, including parodic hyperostosis, in which the bone cannibalizes its own substance to create red blood cells. The anemia was probably caused not only by diet, but by parasitic infections. In the teeth, Larson finds signs that disease or starvation periodically arrested growth, engraving the record of life-threatening stress into grooves in the enamel. And in the spines and joints, he finds high frequencies of crippling osteoarthritis, the result of heavy, repetitive work. Beginning in the late 1600s, British and Allied Indians began to attack the missions. Again, British and Allied Indians began to attack the missions. What missions? The Catalina mission I just read about, which the Wale was living at. So Indians team up with the Buckra to fight some other Indians. But the Albos will talk about that stuff. So make it make sense. With each move southward, the Wale population seems to have declined both in number and in health. The few remaining families fled to Cuba from St. Augustine in the 1760s. Today, bones are all that remain of Wale of Georgia and northern Florida. One more again. Today, bones are all that remain of the Wale, Georgia, and northern Florida. Only thing that's left is bones. Very first wiki page, they extinct. You know. Um, I mean, shit. I gotta keep going. They're extinct. They're extinct, yo. Real quick, right here. As a collection, the 3,000 skeletons provide a detailed record of the Guale's descent from a robust, vigorous people into a small band of refugees weakened by hardship and disease. You know what I mean? And that's that, yo. I'm gonna look at this chat real quick, see if I got any questions, and if not, I'm gonna keep it going. I ain't bad. Yep. So I got that out the way. Yeah, I'll show y'all this real quick. Boom. Y'all see me? What up, Zane? Y'all see me? Southeastern Indians like portraits. Catalog of pictures, right? 1564, 1935. And there's some specific stuff I want to show y'all. Some of y'all already privy to this because I shared this before. I just want to be difficult today. Don't do that. Let me see where it at. But yeah, if you want to go to get you that picture right there, I just showed that in the wiki or one of them websites I was talking about. When I saw that, I said, "Hold on, I got that book because I got books on deck for real." But yeah, these are just the pictures of natives, yo, First Nations people. You know what I'm saying? And they don't look like me or you, unless you're a real indigenous person. I don't think I got none in the chat right now. So yeah, feel me? For sure. I might stop because I got some more stuff in here. Big up Virginia. Word up. I got Pocahontas in here. Matter of fact, I'll show y'all her real quick. I think she's 44. Yep, Smith and others. I got a new laptop and I'm trying to figure out how to work that thing. And I ain't got my mouse set up yet or my pen. Oh no. There we go. Yeah, that's Pocahontas. I'll come back to it another time though, because that damn show, I'm not able to zoom in right now. So that's my fault. Word up. But so when people bringing up certain names or whatnot, like that book within itself is a body bag. Word up. Like I said, the Virginia stuff, these wild lake people stuff, the other tribe they connected to McCool, that tribe, those people, they in the book as well. They don't look like me and you, so this whole they black people with houseway. You feel me? Word up. Um, shit, yeah, I do got a video I want to play for y'all. Get a little long though. But yeah, we in here rocking and rolling, man. This video, everything I play, this is the Fair Use Act, just for information purposes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, here we are. Let's get to it.
Chat box, and I'll read them out after the talk. Tonight's speaker is Dr. Dan Littlefield. Dan received his undergraduate degree from the University of California, Sacramento, and his master's and PhD from Johns Hopkins University. In 1999, he was appointed Carolina professor at the University of South Carolina. In 2007, he was named director of the Institute for African American Research at South Carolina. He is the author of Revolutionary Citizens, African Americans, 1776 to 1804, which was published in 1997, and Rice and Slaves, Ethnicity and the Slave Trade in Colonial South Carolina, published in 1981. Dan has also written scores of articles, encyclopedia entries, book reviews, and book chapters. In 2017, he received the Carolina Trustee Professorship Award, which honors excellence in teaching. He is also, I'm delighted to add, the guest curator for our exhibit on slavery in colonial South Carolina, which will open this spring. Please welcome Dr. Dan Littlefield.
Thank you, Faye, and thank you for the invitation, both for the lecture and to be the guest curator. And also want to thank the South Carolina Historical Society for the invitation, and thank you for attending the session here. English people have had decades of colonial experience before they settled South Carolina. Early in the 17th century, they had set themselves up in the more temperate climate of Virginia and developed a plantation system based on the production of tobacco. They had also been to tropical Barbados, which furnished many of the original Carolina settlers after the island switched from other crops to sugar. Therefore, when almost 60 years after the settlement of Virginia and 40 after they located in Barbados, English proprietors envisioned a settlement in the Carolinas, they had a wealth of colonial experience from which to profit. They took their model partly from the islands in desiring to produce commodities for the home market, and partly from New England in preferring settlements in towns rather than dispersed as in the Chesapeake. They planned an aristocratic setup that included a provision for slaves and an expectation of religious toleration. In fact, in their declarations and proposals to all that will plant in Carolina in 1663, the proprietors had not mentioned Black slavery, though they were familiar with the institution, merely offering land under a headright system for every man or woman servant transported to the Carolina coast. A historian even suggests that one of the original proprietors, Sir Anthony Ashley Cooper, the first Earl of Shaftesbury, was ambivalent about the profitability, if not the justice, of Negro slavery. But the proprietors soon acquiesced in the desires of the Barbadians they sought to attract, who wanted to bring their slaves. Consequently, the fundamental constitutions of 1669 envisioned slavery among other forms of servitude at the colony's inception, and South Carolina was distinctive in that alone among England's colonies in continental North America, African labor was preferred from the first. Africans were present at the founding of the English colony in South Carolina, and within several decades would be a majority. They accompanied white colonists who brought with them already developed ideas about how slavery and plantation agriculture ought to work. But Africans also brought notions about how slavery should work, and perhaps their desires to modify it. They suffered disadvantages on the coast because of the colder winters, as they were more susceptible than Europeans to pulmonary disorders, but they were better equipped in terms of their resistance to malaria and yellow fever that soon flourished in South Carolina's semi-tropical environment, and in their ability to recognize the usefulness of native plants. In this early period of Carolina's history, then, Africans had some advantages over Europeans. Africans brought a familiarity with tropical herbs, an ability to move along inland waterways using canoes or pirogues, skill in fishing, utilizing not only nets, harpoons, or other implements, but also in drugging or stunning fish with poisons. They were able to live off the land much easier than their masters could. They had consonant outlooks towards land and nature and comparable facets of material culture that facilitated their contact with native peoples. The African use of gourds, for example, could be related to the Native American use of calabashes. Both.
Real quick, y'all ever heard that talking point the elbows? You say, well, if they was from Africa, how did they know how to run away? They must have been here. And my response was always, follow the drinking gourd. You feel me? Not the drinking calabash. So yeah, I'll leave that right there.
Both had basket weaving traditions, and both were skilled in the use of small watercraft on inland waters.
It's a final basket.
These conditions facilitated African adjustment and appropriation of local skills. Africans were among the first to appropriate native languages and were often used as translators. They excelled as guides and boatsmen, and they dominated river transportation in early Carolina. As often as not, Africans were the mediators of knowledge between people already inhabiting the coast and Africans who came into it. Africans were imported in significant numbers from about the 1690s, and by 1715, the Black population outnumbered the white by about 40%. This marked another distinctive feature of South Carolina, for it was the only colony in English North America where this disproportion existed. African expertise, as well as rough pioneer conditions of a new settlement, facilitated a degree of what has been termed sawbuck equality in the 17th century, a term derived from the image of a slave owner who worked all day sawing wood with his slave, each facing the other on opposite sides of a sawbuck. The situation did not mask the slaves' servile status, but doubtless enhanced their self-esteem. The South Carolina Slave Code of 1696, based on the Barbadian Code of 1688, announced an end to this relatively benign period. The colony increasingly embraced rice as a staple, the most remunerative on the continent at the time, whose reach extended to Low-Country Georgia after the middle of the 18th century. After 1740, rice was joined by indigo as a Carolina staple, but rice was the dominant crop. Consistent with their experience, Englishmen first tried to grow rice like wheat on dry upland soils, dependent on the rainfall, and spreading it broadcast, but soon switched to inland swamps based upon ponds or reservoirs. By mid-century, a scholar reports, Governor James Glenn could celebrate the fact that the country abounds everywhere with large swamps. The governor also noted that the slaves had made the swamps productive. And this image is of a mangrove swamp in Africa. And people coming from that region already knew that swamps could be productive. Englishmen had to learn that in South Carolina. Consequently, the English benefited from the knowledge of their African bondsmen, many of whom came from rice-growing regions in Africa and knew more about the cultivation of the crop than did Englishmen. Indeed, many of whom came.
Gotta reiterate this, right? Mangrove rice cultivation, right? This picture is in Senegal. You might have thought it was in the low country somewhere. You see the trees, you see the rice field and all that. I thought shit look like Georgetown to me. Nah, that's Senegal. You going?
Came from rice-growing regions in Africa and knew more about the cultivation of the crop than did Englishmen. Indeed, Carolinians adopted a preference for people from the rice-producing Senegambia region that lasted through most of the colonial period. And in this image, you see two kinds of rice. On the left, you see traditional African rice. And on the right, Asian rice brought into Africa, introduced into Africa from the 16th century by the Portuguese and somewhat earlier from North Africa by the Arabs.
Mm.
And this preference for people from the Senegambia region is suggested in this ad, where it's made clear that the people being imported in this ship had come from the rice coast. But the vagaries of trade prevented this region's ethnic groups from always dominating import statistics. So despite a preference for people from the Senegambia region and the Upper Guinea coast, actually almost as many people came from the Congo-Angola region and Southern Africa than from the Senegambia region. So it wasn't as simple as putting in your order and getting what you deserve, getting what you desired. You had to take more or less what was acceptable. But various Senegambians were associated with the African cattle complex and brought expertise in cattle raising as well, perhaps accentuating the planters' regional preference. For in the early years, Carolinians shipped hides and other goods to the Caribbean. The demographic disproportion continued. Of 17,000 people in South Carolina in 17th century, in 1720, 12,000 were Black. In 1730, a population of 30,000 was 2/3 Black, while between 1735 and 1740, almost 13,000 more were imported. The large influx of enslaved Africans fueled unrest, most clearly indicated in the Stoner Rebellion of 1739, where a group of rebels, mostly from the African kingdom of the Congo, sought to escape their enslavement by fleeing south to seek refuge in Spanish Florida. And the Stoner Rebellion happened right here, where you see the big red and yellow spots. These people involved in the Stoner Rebellion fomented the largest uprising of enslaved people in English North America. And subsequently, slave imports decreased. But in 1740, only 15,000 of the 45,000 people in South Carolina were white. It is no wonder then that A Swiss immigrant remarked in 1737 that Carolina looks more like a Negro country than a country settled by white people. Throughout the 18th century in coastal Carolina, this was indeed the situation. Although the disproportion was not as great as in West India Islands, where Blacks sometimes outnumbered whites by as much as 10 or more to 1, the disequilibrium was more than sufficient to make this colony unique on the mainland. In 1765, Blacks outnumbered whites by more than 2 to 1, and Charleston was the largest North American slave port. The force and significance of this demographic fact and some of the picturesque implications are suggested by advertisements for slave runaways. Lately run away from my plantation at Ashpoo, James Parsons wrote in the South Carolina Gazette, October 24th, 1761, 2 likely young new Bambaro Negro fellows named Abram and Lemont also run away about 2 years ago, a short, chubby, hairy Angola fellow named March, and about 2 months since, a very black slipshod fellow, this country born, called Harry. Likewise went away about this time 12-month, a new Negro lad of the Papa country named Arrow, and a new Negro was a recent import. Nowhere else in North America on a comparable scale was this scene replicated. These surroundings could not help but affect the perceptions and cognitive processes of white South Carolinians, and these and other circumstances relate them more closely than other British North Americans to their compatriots in the West Indies. The extent of African diversity in South Carolina did not prevent, but may have inhibited the thinking about Africans in solely racial terms. English ethnocentrism was such that they assumed superiority in face of practically everyone they met, and Africans were certainly no exception to this rule. But if a distinction can be made between ethnocentrism and racism, then it might be ventured that early 18th century attitudes towards Black people partook more of the former than the latter. This would especially be true in South Carolina, where the contest could be viewed as more often between African and European rather than between Black and white. Clearly, the posture adopted by Blacks towards Blacks by white Americans in the 19th century, predicating their innate passivity and peculiar suitability to slavery, their lack of ambition and their inability to handle or even to appreciate freedom was not so easily maintained. Many of these ideas existed in casual or inchoate form, but they were not so widely and comfortably held as would later be the case. Accordingly, a contemporary description of the Stono Rebellion regarded it as a situation wherein one, that is the Blacks, fought for liberty and life, and the other, that is the whites, for their country and everything that was dear to them. This was certainly, as historian Winthrop Jordan states, a revealing characterization of an American slave rebellion, and it serves to differentiate the attitudinal set of the colonial from that of the national period. It may be that in the second half of the 18th century began a transition when during the revolutionary crisis, attitudes, particularly in South Carolina, hardened. Slave trader and revolutionary patriot Henry Lawrence, who would later give much lip service to considerations of freeing slaves, related what he called a peculiar incident during the Stamp Act crisis of 1765. A group of slaves, apparently in thoughtless imitation, Lawrence opined, began to cry liberty and threw Charleston into alarm for 2 weeks. This event, Lawrence thought, revealed in what dread the citizens lived among the Black savages with whom they were surrounding themselves. But Lawrence's outlook in the 1760s was a far cry from that expressed a generation or so earlier at the time of Stono, and are clear evidence that racist or racialist ideas existed, but I think this is evidence of change, not consistency, although some people would disagree, so it's a moot point. Of course, stringent laws were enacted to control the slave population, and even in the early colonial period, these laws often extended to free Blacks as well. Indeed, they often begin with the phrase Negroes and other slaves. Because they were outnumbered, South Carolinians were understandably concerned about large groups of slaves together. So after 1750, that is after the Summer Rebellion, it was illegal for more than 7 men slaves to travel together, except in the company of a white person, or they could be taken up and whipped. Now, with the demographic disproportion, this was the kind of law that could not really be enforced, but it was on the books. The use of drums or horns were forbidden, and this fear of enslaved Africans using drums is one of the things that is supposed to separate English from Spanish and French colonies, where slaves often had great celebrations utilizing drums. However,
While we on the drums, if y'all don't know by now, that's one of the things we brought with us. Shout out to Each One Teach One, get a drummer song. That's a great presentation they did on that. You know what I mean? As far as the drum to the band to the yeah, all that drum, the banjo, all of that job, you feel me? So yeah, even I mean you'll find young black males in the Revolutionary Army military at the time, 1700s, with the drums and everything. You feel me? That's the thing that the European military copied from Africans. So yeah, get a drummer song.
however, Carolina was a frontier colony and land claimed by the Spanish crown. So slaves were on occasion authorized to use weapons, although in theory, not more than one on a plantation could do so. Moreover, the Carolina region was the only plantation area in English North America where Blacks were at various times used in the militia. Now, rice cultivation was a very strenuous process. The South Carolina rice plantation required large gangs of slaves. 30 slaves was the optimum number for beginning a rice plantation. And these consisted in the early years of new imports or saltwater slaves, such as the kind you might see in this image of an African rice plantation or rice field. With large numbers of newly enslaved Africans coming over in a relatively short period of time, the cultural distance between master and slave was great, complicating mutual communication. They had different languages and ways of thought. Moreover, the mechanical aspects of rice cultivation remain physically taxing. In early years, South Carolinians grew rice on dry upland soils, depending on the rainfall, but planters soon switched to inland swamps based upon ponds or reservoirs. And on the right of this plant, in the dark area, you see, well, you can't see it very clearly, but it represents rice plantations utilizing the natural landscape. And to the left, you see the construction of canals indicating the switch to a different system. At the end of the 18th century, rice cultivation was adapted to the tide flow, as indicated in this diagram. And rice fields were constructed out of low-lying regions fronting rivers. For slaves, this meant that the workload increased. These fields required the building of massive dikes, levees, and canals, all by hand with picks and shovels, working in the mud with snakes and alligators and other vermin.
All right, y'all. I got my message across with that one right there. Like I said, the Wale talking point, that shit beat up. If y'all remember from the article I showed, only thing left for them is the bones, literally. You know what I mean? it's sad what happened to those people. You know what I mean? But yeah, they not us. They not Black Americans. Um, yeah, for real. Shoot, the rice they got talk. You know, we cover that. And they got the experts too. The expert who did the study on the bones, the teeth, and all that, the corn and the anemia and everything. You feel me? And y'all got the professor from South Carolina itself. You know what I mean? With the African studies and everything. Talking about the same stuff I've been kicking for years. You feel me? The rice, the rice, the tribes that came over here, the areas, Stono. You feel me? So yeah, shit hit different over here for real, for real. He's talking about the dikes and everything, the tools that were used. Um, last video I played a tour of the Gullah Museum in Georgetown, and I don't know if I stopped it and paused it and talked about it, but in the museum you have actual artifacts from the Gullah Geechee culture, specifically in Georgetown, that were used in the movie with Mel Gibson, The Patriot, you know, Revolutionary War movie, so on and so forth. And that what he's talking about the same time frame, talking about the Africans in the military, everything, you feel me? So yeah, and those actual artifacts was used in that movie. You feel me? So yeah, shout out to Georgetown, man. Already. For sure, for sure. And I mean, as I'm seeing, yeah, some stuff is gonna have to be repeated. So I mean, shit, it is what it is. We're gonna do it again every time if need be. But yeah, mana shout out Lorenzo de Alterna, father of Gullah Studies. Out of one, there are many. That's what that statue say. They go to blue bottles. Big up Ogun. Colored only, no whites allowed. Help wanted, no Irish need apply. Shit hit different in Georgetown. I'm telling you. Black Beach, Kenzie. Shout out to Polly Island, yo. Shout out to John Island, Sandy Island. They go to the Nets and Drake assembles. Shout out to Ghana. Rice. Rice, 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 rice. Look, 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 look. Growing the rice. Chubby Checker. And my cousin too, no cap. I got all of them. I got them. I got that too. I got them at the bottom. I got that. They like Joseph Brandy. You know, the dolls. You know about that hag protection, yo. That's the African karaoke, yo. Voodoo, all that. That's one of the goats. Rice Scoop, Liberia. Boom. I see them. They go to baskets. There you go. Right there in the. That's what I'm talking about. That was in the movie. Those are the herbs and everything. Life everlasting. I think they banned that shit now. Sweetgrass baskets was happening. Got all of them. Indigo, another cash crop. I'm gonna talk about Winya Bay. Don't worry. Not tonight though. Ain't no album doing this show. Ain't no album going no museum, no nothing. Get up no elder. Don't none of their elders even agree with them. You know how their elders publish scholars, none of that shit, bro. You know they're not putting out no information even. Shit hit different over here, bro. Tell me. Nets, boats, riverways. Brought our culture with us, man. Our elders talk about the middle patches. That shit was passed down to them. You feel me? This Apple shit weird. Don't nothing agree with them but white supremacy. And I stand on that. Tabby was happening. Yeah, man. So I mean shit, that pretty much it, y'all. I ain't gonna keep y'all too much longer, y'all. Again, we talked about the Guale people. What happened to them? The study that was done on them, their culture, what they look like. You feel me? Shit, we talked about the rice that was over there that came with the Africans, the difference between the African rice and the Asian rice. You feel me? Not for nothing. Let me see if I feel like bringing that up real quick. But yeah, man, this stuff hit different over here, bro. Like, shout out to everybody that got the information that be trying to put it out. Shout out, yo. The Syndicate Gang, you feel me? Shout out to y'all on TikTok, you feel me? Shout out to Not a Coincidence. Each one teach one. Them the big homies. Day one. Where I born. True story. It's a live. Sister Cop. What's happening, mama? Been a minute, yo. Peace to you, for real. Um, and yeah, the Mossy Warrior Clan. You feel me? Sean, what's happening, bro? Kofi. Brother Bear. Peace to you, big dog. You feel me? Everybody that getting the information out, bro. They ain't on no weird shit. You feel me? Yeah. To y'all apples, y'all be lurking on every platform I be on. Y'all weird, bro. I'm talking about IG, Facebook, damn Clubhouse, TikTok now. You feel me? And this a whole bunch of weird shit. Like, bro, all my shit public. I don't be hiding. I really be outside. Like the same way I am on the internet. I am in real life. That's a big old fact. That's a big old fact. You feel me? So all that being said, man, like if anybody want this information, bro, just let me know, man. Like it ain't really that hard. You don't gotta record no TikTok convos and then chop it up and don't like that shit weird, bro. You feel me? Matter of fact, hold on, man. Let me show y'all something, man, cause this shit different. These dudes is not. What's happening, y'all? Look, check it, right? These elbows don't read at all, like at all. You feel me? Like at all, at all. African or American. Like this book is too easy, bro. I can just go to my bookmarks real quick. George Downey. Google him. Who else we got? Shit. Charles Reason. Google him. I got this book on PDF too. I might share this with y'all on the PDF. Join the Gullah Geechee Vyasa. Drop the link for the Discord for me, bro. Join the Discord. All these, like, I got a lot of this stuff on PDF too, bro. I do the physical and the hard copy just for the internet. I'm always about showing improvement. I love that shit. Oh man. I'm gonna read this for y'all. This is chapter 5, right? Chapter 5, I'm gonna read this last. Oh shit, I'm gonna read. Fuck. I'm gonna read this one right here. The necessity of renowned and united activity is our great cause. Now presses upon us with more than usual weight. Ceaseless vigilance, unswerving integrity, and earnest and hearty activity are the chief reliance of the prescribed. Without concerned action, our efforts will be useless and unavailing. Unity of effort is the condition of success. That came from the New York State Color Convention, 1841. Unity. Unity. Oh, Jesse Jackson made African. Fuck out of here, bro. Like this beat book. Like not for nothing. I know people in real life that teach just out of this book on some like just basic Black history job, yo, and they get the job done. Like, I seen it done. This book is a dope one. But yeah, Free African School. That's page 45 in here. Boom. What else we got? Reverend William Miller. Boom. What we got right here? I mentioned the New York African Society. This is 1808. 1808, yo. Give me a minute. I'm gonna pull this up on the on my Adobe, and I share something. I mean, not for nothing. I even got the introduction. Like, bro, there's too much fire stuff in here, yo. You see all them under. Oh my god, wrong hand. All them shit, this finger. All this underlying stuff or whatnot, bro. That is what it is. Till that Ron Scott told me, I got that reverse shit just fucking me up. Man, look, check it, right? This is too easy, bro. These elbows do not read. Do not read. The most you can get from them is a meme or a screenshot. You feel me? What is this? Legacy of Ebo Landon, Queen Quet. And another thing, they be talking disrespectful about the Queen, bro. Like, I really want to meet most of y'all. Like, I just want to meet y'all, bro. I just want to meet y'all, bro. The shit y'all say about Queen Quet, bro. Okay. All right. This book, nothing but, man, look, bro. Leaders of the Gullah War. You got John Horse, Abraham, shout out Vyasa. You know what I mean? Man, listen, bro. Y'all know this shit hit different over here, bro. That's why it's too easy to beat y'all up in chats because y'all don't read. And then when I get on the man, oh, it's a whole body bag. But then y'all gotta divert the other shit, the goddamn the retarded shit, bro. Again, if y'all know, a place for we Black beaches and towns, Gullah Geechee job, yo. Also, Queen Quet. I love the author, Queen Quet. You know what I mean? Grab copy. I'll say this one for later. Start where you stand. Georgetown County. I got this thing so goddamn. Can't nobody tell me about me, man. Can't nobody tell me about me, bro. Check it right. I'm from Georgetown County. My daddy and little sister, she graduated in the 90s, bro. You feel me? I'm born in 91, if y'all didn't know. My auntie graduated in the 90s. Choppy High School. For their senior retreat, guess where they went to? Sierra Leone. Newspaper, VHS tapes, and all that. I'll show y'all this. Now, we just seen this in the video I played. Where's that at? The Gullah Museum. Zoom in a little bit more. Tilt it this way. Sweetgrass Collectibles. Again, this is Georgetown County, baby. Start right there, bro. These people right here, Mr. Andrew and Mrs. Bunny, them the creators of the Gullah Geechee Museum, man. So yeah, real life out here, bro. Apples do not read. They can't show you no kind of sources. They ain't got no books. Nothing, bro. Nothing. They don't start where they stand. I know they talking points in their history better than them, man. Sweet grass baskets. What's he talking about, bro? And another thing, what I'm seeing lately, yo, is these albums. They using this AI and the whole the AI stuff, right? And they trash at that too. They ain't fucking with me at that either, bro. Like on some elementary shit, bro. My nieces make stuff better than them. There's this one dude on some weird shit. He trying to go around trying to claim Geechee from Mississippi or whatever. I guess him and his old lady, it don't matter whoever, both for real. But and they out here making these shirts and whatnot and all these little AI avatars. I'm like, bro, this shit trash. My nieces do shit better than that, bro. Like for real. Like, do you even know what a prompt is, bro? Like you using one of them little free little apps on the Android, I bet. No shot to the Androids, but I'm just saying they got the free app show. I got both phones, the iPhone and the Android, so there ain't no shot. But look, they ain't fucking me with that. They use this for their history, and they don't even know how to use this because their sources be beating their own self up, or either it's a goddamn bad source. They don't know how to source critique or no methodology. Can't use ChatGPT, so quit using it, bro. Look, man, with these hey, you're not fucking with me either. You're not fucking with me either, bro. Like, this shit is different. Shit is different, bro. I showed y'all the PDF book of the Indian pictures, but look at this one. Look at that big motherfucker. There's nothing but pictures. Man, listen. Look, where we going to start from? I think volume 7 was the damn Cherokee. Let me see. It's different over here, yo. I'm telling you. One of the Indians in Oklahoma. Yeah. So if y'all want to play the whole lookership shit, all I gotta do is show real life pictures and portraits. Y'all dead at that. It ain't even close. Like it's bad. I will die there. Look at this shit, man. Man, listen. Too easy. And then their only rebuttal is they use racism or white supremacy. Yeah, that's a mama law. That's a mystique. Like, bro, what? What you talking about, bro? Well, if you them and they some other people that talk about your culture, they can never tell me their culture, bro. What you eat, who you pray to. I'm talking about the Wale people. Everybody and their mama that's on some air bullshit be trying to claim these people. And you ain't hear none of them mention no thunder god, no sun god, no none of that. What your culture? What? I ain't do with this, y'all. I ain't do with this. Over 4,000 African loanwords, yo. Feel me? Shit is a rap, man. Shit is a rap.
Years after you get free, you still getting fucked out of job and shot at by police. You see what I'm saying? This guy gets it. I like him. He's getting angry. Angry is good. Angry gets shit done. You shed tears for Kumpe and Nancy, and here he is telling you, you are staring down the barrel of 300 years of subjugation, racist bullshit, and heart disease. He is telling you there is one goddamn reason you shouldn't go up there right now and slit the throats of every last one of these Dutch motherfuckers and set fire to this ship.
Mana, gbọ́ mẹ́lẹ̀ gà gbọ́ kó, ẹni nílẹ̀ gà wọ́n.
You already dead, asshole. At least die a sacrifice for something worthwhile. Let the motherfucker burn. Let it all burn.
Okay. What up, Andy? I see you in the chat box.
What's up, dude? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro. What's going on with you, man?
Nah, nothing much, dude. I got done watching a movie on Prime. It's a hell of a good movie. It has Jamie Foxx on it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, but I got you right here, bro. So you wanted this picture, and you wanted to see that right there. And yeah, them your people.
Yeah, I see it, dude.
Yeah, I'm talking to Vass in the chat. This is his people right here, the Pompey Factor, yo. One of the prominent people in the gun awards, yo. You feel me? Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like real life Freeman out here and whatnot. These apples be claiming shit. Hey, yo, Andy, what tribe you from? You from the West Coast, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm from the West Coast, but
What
my
tribe?
family's from Mexico.
Oh, okay, got you. I had showed a map earlier. I forget the time frame. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock right now. It's like 10:42 p.m.
Okay. Let me show you something real quick. I'm about to share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead, my good friend. I have a lot of love and support for you, man.
Appreciate you, dog. So yeah. You can see this?
Yeah, I see it, dude.
Yeah. Any of these look familiar to you?
Somewhat. I learned this from my old school, but I got
Got you.
suspended. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
expelled from my old school.
Yeah, it's like a list of First Nations peoples and whatnot. You feel me? And you
Yeah.
know how the apples be
Yeah, I
claiming like
feel you.
same 5 tribes and whatnot. You feel me? Like you see how this tribe of Iowa is way over here, but the state that we familiar with is a little bit more further west. You feel me? You got Miami right here.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, you know that's one of
Yeah, I
them.
used to go to school. I used to go to school, and I forgot where, but it was owned by actual Native Americans, my dude.
Oh, okay, that's lit, bro. That's lit.
Yeah, my
That's
my
lit.
my dad was my mom and dad were friends with one of the administrators. They used to go to college together though. But she's hot though, that I can tell you. I remember that.
That's what's up, man. But yeah, man, my fault. You had caught the end of it, bro. I was just wrapping things up, bro. I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here, bro. Get ready for shit later on.
Nah,
It's 1:43 my time.
143.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, I feel you.
All right, appreciate the support, man. Thank you for pulling up, man. I will probably go live again later on today, man. I got some more stuff to show and talk about.
Yeah,
I just had to.
oh, I don't know. I'll buy a show up though, but trying to schedule a vet visit
Okay, okay.
with my
Well, yeah,
cat.
okay. Well, hope everything all right, bro, with the cat and everything. But yeah, thank y'all. Thank everybody for tuning in, man. Gullah Grill TV, man. And we gone.
I wish I showed up earlier,